Hello, dear students of class 6, and welcome to yet another online class of geography. Dear children, today we are going to do the concluding video for the chapter Major Landforms on the Earth, and today we will be looking at the plains. You see, dear children, plains have been the source of our living, our livelihood, and our survival since long time, right? Most of us as humans, we have settled on the plains only. We have always preferred staying on the plains rather than settling on mountains or hills or plateaus. Okay, now few things that we need to learn about plains beforehand before we move on with the chapter is that first of all, plains are also known as lowlands. Plains are also known as lowlands. Okay. Secondly, if you have to learn, plains are mostly flat. Okay. Plains are flat. The terrain may be a bit rugged up and down, but on average, plains are mostly flat in structure. Not only that, dear children, plains are usually within 200 meters of sea level. Means this is their average height above the sea level. Okay, the average height of plains is usually 200 meters above the sea level. Okay, not off, sorry, above 200 meters above sea level. This in particular is the height of a plain. So having said that, let's continue with the chapter and let's see what the books got to tell us. But of course, I would like to add here that plains are fed by major rivers. Okay, rivers provide both water and they bring fertile soil, which makes plains very suitable for agriculture. Not only that, dear children, most of the civilizations of ancient times settled on plains only, not on the hills, mountains, or plateaus. So let's see what our books got to say about this. Plains or lowlands are vast, nearly flat expanses of land which are usually less than 200 meters above sea level. I told you this already. They are mostly built by alluvium deposited by big rivers and their tributaries, and hence they are also called river plains. Now see, like I told you, most of the plains are formed by the soil, alluvium soil, brought down by rivers from mountains, and hence these plains are also known as river plains. River plains are fertile. Owing to the flat nature of the land, it is easy to construct road and railways in plains. In short, creating transportation facilities on plains is very easy, and most importantly, agriculture is also possible there due to the only reason that plains are flat. Plains are flat. Plains that are found along the edges of continents adjacent to seas are called coastal plains. Now see, the plains which are found adjacent means attached to continent, but they are mostly near the sea. The area of plain near the sea are known as coastal plains. For example, the eastern and western coastal plains of India. You see, if you look at the southern borders of our country, you are going to find that we have two coastal areas. We have Arabian Sea here, Arabian Sea on the west, and Bay of Bengal on the east. Bay of Bengal on the east. With this, dear children, we have two coastal plains. Okay, we have two coastal plains, the eastern coastal plain and the western coastal plain. Now, western coastal plain is again divided into two coastal plains. Western coastal plain is divided into two coastal plains. We have Malabar coast and Konkan coast. Okay, sorry, we have Konkan coast and Malabar coast. But the eastern coastal plain is a single expanse known as Coromandel coast. Coromandel coast. So this is the description of the eastern coastal plain and western coastal plain of our country. But what you should notice here is that both of these coastal plains are located near major seas. Okay, they are plains only, they are expanses of the land, but they are located near the sea. Now, types of plains. On the basis of formation, plains are grouped in three categories. First of all, structural plains. Plains that lie near the coast of the sea or an ocean are called structural plain. You can say coastal plains are also known as structural plains because they are mostly near the coast of sea or ocean. Due to endogenetic movements, large broad flat areas of sea floor are raised and appear on the surface. This type of plains are very flat and broad. You see, sometimes due to endogenetic movements, okay, internal movements, large areas of underwater sea plane, okay, underwater sea surface, it comes up. These are broad and flat. These type of plains are very flat and broad. The addition of sediments brought in by the sea waves over the period of time makes them broader and flatter than they originally were. You see, over long time sea has been depositing sediments on those plains. So once these plains come up, they turn out to be broader and flatter. Structural plain border all countries. The coastal plains of southeastern USA near the Gulf Coast, which are the part of Great Plains, are one of the largest plains of the world. This is, you can say, a GK fact for you. The coastal plains of southwestern USA near the Gulf Coast, okay, which are the part of Great Plains, are one of the largest plains of the world. The plains of northern Russia and central lowlands of Australia are other example of structural plains. Now, erosional plains, as the name itself suggests, they are formed by erosion. Okay, they are formed by erosion of sediments. Let's see. Erosional plains are the result of erosion of mountains, hills and plateaus. The eroded material is brought down to a low level by wind, river, rain and ice. This kind of erosion caused by various agents give rise to several types of plains. The plains of northern Canada, northern Europe and Kashmir in India are example of such plains. You see, over the time, the mountains or the hills or plateaus, they are eroded away by rivers, right? Due to erosion, continuous erosion and bringing down of the material, the erosional plains are formed. Okay. The major example here is the example from India only, that is Kashmir. And then you have depositional plains. Depositional plains are formed by sediments brought down on a large scale by natural agents such as moving ice, water and wind from upper region of the mountain. See, when erosional plains are being formed, when mountains are being eroded down and down and down and brought down to the level of plains, all that eroded material is carried and deposited in a certain place by the agents of erosion like wind, running water, ice, etc. This deposition also creates plains and they are known as depositional plains. Now children will be learning about importance of plains, how plains are important. Of all the landforms that are on earth, the most suitable for both humans and animals are the plains. Plains have always been the areas that support large population. For example, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Mississippi Plain and the Yangtze Plain. Indo-Gangetic Plain, it is in India. Mississippi Plain, it's in USA, and Yangtze Plain is in China, and they have supported large population. Crops such as rice, wheat and sugarcane are grown in the plains. Plains are granaries of the world. Plains are the place where agriculture is properly possible. Hence, plains are also known as granaries, okay, grain storehouses of the world. Large cities and towns are located mostly in the plains. Like we learned earlier, on plains it is very easy to develop infrastructure due to its flat terrain. Hence, large cities and towns mostly develop in the plains. The scope for industrialization is much more in the plains than in any other terrain. Okay, the growing up of industries, the development of industries is very much possible on the plains only. They are not very possible on higher mountains, hills or plateaus due to their rugged terrain. But on plains, due to the flat terrain, industries are easy to establish and develop. Now, the soft and flat surface of plain makes it easy for construction of road, railway tracks and airports. Okay, whether you have to construct road or railway track or an airport, plains are always preferred because the surface is soft and flat. Now minor landforms, small landforms. Other than this, you have islands. Okay, you know islands already. Island is a small piece of land which is surrounded by water from all the sides. So let's see what books got to say. An island is a piece of land which is surrounded on all sides by water. India has two group of islands, the Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman Nicobar Islands. The Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea and the Andaman Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal. Here itself, in the Arabian Sea, you have Lakshadweep Islands, okay, and in Bay of Bengal, you have Andaman Nicobar Islands. Sri Lanka is an island just south of India in the Indian Ocean. Okay, now just south of India, if you'll see, there is a country out here which is roughly triangularly shaped. It is known as Sri Lanka. It's a country, and yet it is an, how will you put it? It is an island. Madagascar is another big island in the same ocean. Try to identify other islands on the world map. Of course, you can take an atlas and you can look at the map. All you have to do is look for areas which are completely surrounded by water on all the sides. Then you have peninsula. You see, compared to island, peninsulas have only one difference. They are also surrounded by water, but they are surrounded by water only on three sides. Like if you look at this southern part of India, you will find it is surrounded by water only on three sides. You have Arabian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, and down you have Indian Ocean. Okay. Other than this, up there is all land. Okay. So the piece of land which is surrounded by water only on three sides is known as peninsula. A peninsula is a piece of land that is surrounded by water on three sides and joined to larger landmass. The peninsular plateau of India and the Malay Peninsula are two examples of peninsulas attached to continent of Asia. You can understand that this part which we have drawn here, the southern part, is the peninsular plateau of India. Europe is a peninsula of peninsulas. Okay, Europe is one of the largest peninsula of the world. Okay, an entire continent is actually one large peninsula. That's why it is known as peninsula of peninsulas. Then you have isthmus. An isthmus is an elongated narrow piece of land with water on each side that joins two land masses. For example, Isthmus of Panama joins North America and South America with the Pacific Ocean on one side and Atlantic Ocean on the other. The Isthmus of Suez joins Africa and Asia and separates Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. So basically what we can understand about isthmus is that isthmus is a piece of land which joins two land masses and separates two water bodies. Okay? If a piece of land joins two land masses and at the same time separates two water bodies, it is known as an isthmus. The famous example of that is the Isthmus of Panama. Isthmus of Panama. You see, Isthmus of Panama joins North America and South America, and at the same time it separates Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. And when it comes to Asia, the Isthmus of Suez, okay, the Isthmus of Suez, okay, not sewage, Suez, S-U-E-Z, Suez, it joins Africa and Asia, and at the same time it separates Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. So you see, it's very simple. The piece of land which joins two land masses but at the same time separates two water bodies is known as isthmus. So we learnt about three separate land masses. Let's recap them. One, island, a piece of land surrounded by water body on all the sides. Secondly, peninsula, the piece of land surrounded by water on three sides and connected by a major landform on the fourth side. And then isthmus, piece of land which joins two larger land masses and at the same time separates two water bodies. Okay, having said this, dear children, I hereby conclude this chapter. Now what you have to do is, there are exercises here. Okay, you will have to do exercise A only. You will do exercise A all by yourself. Okay, B not required. and see that is question answer that I'll be providing it to you. All right, so kindly do the provided exercises. The clip will be provided to you, and refer to it. Thank you very much. Stay safe.